Good morning, team. This is Information Security Analysis Review Training Program in which we learn some basic elements while writing a documentation. Basic elements related to the information security while writing documentation on various aspects that are related to the information security. So, before starting the activity, let me brief you about the business case based on which you will be developing your report. In activity 1, we have identified various security risks related to the organization, and we identified possible application of security policies, and we also detailed about organization and whether it is following CI principles or not. So this information is evaluated in the first activity. I guess if people learned about many things related to the information security, how information security is different from um, what is the differences between network security, information security, and cyber security. These aspects you learn in the first activity 1. So this is a continuation activity to the that activity, and in this activity we try to provide some recommendations and some solid solutions to the organization that could be implemented by the organization to make better improvements to their security strategy to overcome the security problems that it is having. Okay, if you read the first paragraph, in the previous activity you selected an organization and provided information on current security state and made suggestions of improvements to the security. Okay, you made certain recommendations also in that activity, and using the same organization and same scenario, we will be developing this report. So this report, what it should do, to reflect on current roles and titles of the security personnel. See, for example, the organization is having will be having a clear organization structure, and the organization structure will consist of various roles and responsibilities that are assigned to control security issues in the organization. Okay, so we will be creating certain employee roles who will be handling security management related problems. Okay, so if, for example, if organization do not have certain roles and roles in the organization to handle it, so then we try to create a new role. All right, so that is the first activity. Then physical security training related one. Second one is what kind of training related improvements should be made to improve the security of the organization. Then it is about ISO security standards that are followed by the organization. So say there will be certain security standards, ISO security standards that every organization follows. We try to evaluate about that security standard, and we conclude about its limitations, whether there any limitations to overcome the security problem that is happened with the organization. Okay, we evaluate about the security standards. Then finally we describe threat identification and risk management strategies. Okay, these are some important elements of this document. Next one is, for example, there will be certain information. For example, if you consider about ISC certification, it will be clearly mentioned by the organization to ensure that people who are engaged with the business transactions or like information transactions with the organization, they will be comfortable with sharing information, comfortable to share information because they have proper security standards. For example, if you take your debit card, if it contains visa symbol on it, it means that visa signature is given, visa standard is provided to that one. So by considering it having a visa signature on it, visa stamp on it, we are happily using it to withdraw money, otherwise we will never do. Okay, maybe some people do, because most of the people are using ATM cards as they have don't as they do not have any problems. Some people will be using it by observing the other people, but the people who really started using it, they are comfortable, they are happy because they have some third party guarantee that if something happened to your debit card, they will be assuring something, some loss will be repaid. Okay, so considering it, they will be using the debit cards. In that way, the security standards, some information while mentioning about the organizations will sometimes disclose their information, and most often they don't disclose any sensitive information. So keeping it in mind, it is highly recommended that no sensitive information related to the organization will be displayed. So for example, if you see that when you search about the organization, if you see that organization is having two important organization roles, try to add one more role such that it is beyond the fact, and it do not disclose actual sensitive information of the organization. Okay. So however, I will be explaining each task by task, right? You will understand it. But here it is mentioned here because we are not supposed to disclose any sensitive information related to the organization. I will make one more point here. Whatever the information that organization kept online, that we can use. So there is no possibility that you reveal sensitive information related to the organization. So this is for the people who work really in the organization and writing about that organization. Okay. So in such scenarios, usually employees worked in that organization will have some information related to it. So there is a high possibility of revealing such information. So it is it is mentioned here to not include any sensitive information related to the organization. Got it? Next, report related recommendations. Optimally, the report should contain 3000 words, and it should contain introduction, body, and conclusion. Along with that, I want you people to write abstract also. Okay, abstract, introduction, body, conclusion. So, excluding abstract, introduction, body, and conclusion should be approximately 3000 words. A minimum of 5 references should be used, and the reference style is Harvard style. In that, Harvard AGPS means no web resources will be accepted. You can use books, you can use journal articles. All right, chalo. Let's start with activity 1. By this introductory description about the task is done, we will be starting with the activity 1 in next video. Thank you.